Okay, you can see that we've got SolidWorks up. Now, from our sketch, we want to go ahead and create our SolidWorks part files and model assemblies off of our sketch for our in-table design. Okay, let's go ahead and create a new file to start off our project. I've gone ahead and created myself a custom template that I work from called Plat Custom. I'm going to go ahead and accept that and hit OK. Now, at any time, you can create your own custom templates that you can work from. I do it because I want to have all these commands out here on my heads-up display, because I use these all the time. And I don't like going up here, selecting view and going down and picking out which view I want to look at. Also, I want to have a white background. SolidWorks comes in with kind of a gray gradient background. Don't like that. Prefer white. So let's go down here. We're at inch pound second, which is good. Let's make sure our document units are correct. Yes, I've already gone ahead and set up where it's 4 decimal places. Now, when you come into SolidWorks, it defaults to 2. I don't like that. I like to work with 4 decimal places. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and select OK, and let's get started. Now, what's critical is to start ourselves on the right plane for which we're going to do our design. So I'm going to start on the top plane. I'm going to come up here to my sketch tools, and I'm going to select sketch. Now, I'll go over ahead and I'll come over here and I'm going to start sketching up this bed rail that I have. Now remember, we're going to take all these bed rails that we have and we're going to turn them into something useful instead of throwing them out to, for scrap iron. So go ahead and hit escape on that, and I'll come back and I'll set my measurements here to, let's see, 1.5, which is 1.5 inches, and that's the size of the angle steel on the bed frames. So I've got that set. Now I'm going to come up here and do offset entities, and I need to measure how thick that is, so give me a moment and I'll come back to that. Okay, I went and used my old trusty dial indicator calipers from China, of course, and I measured it, and sure enough, it's 1/8 of an inch thick. So what I'll do is come up here, I'm set to offset entities. I'm going to go ahead and set my thickness to 0.125, and I'm going to hit tab and let's see where it previews. I can't quite see that. Let me zoom up here on this and see what I got. Unless I did the command correctly. I'll go ahead and select OK, but nope, it didn't work. So I'm going to do that again. So offset entities. I'll select these parts here, and oh, there it is. Now it's set to 0.125. I guess it remembered what it did. Okay, that works for me. Now I'll come up here and I'll grab my line tool. I'll come over here, draw that. I'll come over here, grab this line tool, and we'll set it to that. Looks pretty good. I'll accept that. Control B. Let's go ahead and save this file. So I'm going to save it out to my, I've got a directory I've set up for my tutorials. So I'm going to come over here to my hard drive, go to my documents folder, go to my Plat tutorials, and I've got that set up. And where's my end table? There's my end table. So I'm going to go ahead and save the file to here. And I'm just going to say 1.5, actually do it this way. I'll say 1 space 5. Let's do this. I'll say 1. I'm just going to say bed rail. It's probably easier anyway to remember. Bed rail legs. I don't say that. That looks better. I always give it a version just in case. So I'll go ahead and enter that and save my file. That's good. So I'll be in the sketch mode. I'll select the sketch I want to work with, which is this guy right there, and I'm going to go ahead and go to features, and I'll extrude that. Now I went and measured the bed rails. They look like they're I got 70 inches to work with for each bed rail, so I'm going to go ahead and key in 70 here. Oops, not that far. I'm going to key in 24 inches, and we'll hit enter. And we'll go ahead and accept that. Now, what I like to do, because I really use the hit the F key to zoom out, I really use quite a lot the materials properties. So I like to come down and say plain carbon steel, which would be hot rolled steel. So I'll set it to that. Now, looking at the bed rails, there is a slight bend on it. So what I'm going to do up here is I'll go and put a little chamfer on it, and or fillet, and grab that, and I'll set it to, on the fillet, I'm going to set it to 1.25, and I'll go ahead and grab the inside, just leave it like that, that looks good. Okay, now let's go ahead and save our files again. We'll rebuild it and we'll save it. Now, okay, so we got that done. Let's go ahead and hit the F key to fit that part. It looks pretty good. I can rotate that around and see it. Looks fine. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stop here and we'll come back and we'll create the assembly. Okay, now that we got our part made, we're going to go ahead and start an assembly directly from this part. So come up here to SolidWorks or pull down menu, so it's make assembly from part or assembly. So we got a subassembly. I really don't have a preset on that or a template that I've created. I'm just going to go hit OK. And it's going to come up in SolidWorks land. I do not like that gray. So I'll go ahead and place the part. Automatically comes up asking me to place that part since I created this file directly from that part. So I hit OK. So it's going to go out there. Now let's notice something real quick. Notice that F right there. It means that it's fixed. It's not going to move. It's in stone. Now I can change that if I want to, come back and make it float, but we're not going to do that. We are going to go over and change this background because it drives me crazy. Alright, so we've got that right there. Now what I want to do is I want to place another one. This gets a little tricky, but we're new to SolidWorks, so we're going to learn it anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and place that part, and then I'm going to say make a mate. I'll come over here and collect that paper clip. And then I'm going to hold my middle mouse button down, actually my arrow keys. I'm going to turn my arrow keys around. And I want to mate it coincident to that surface right there. Oops, it's got it in there backwards. Let's go ahead and move our menu out of the way. And we're going to flip that around a little bit. There we go, we flipped it. Cool beans. Alright, hit that OK. Now we're going to come up here and make sure these two guys are on the same coincidence. They're on the same level as each other. So I'm going to go ahead and select that surface. There, boom, got it. Come over here to this one, got it too. Now they're the same thing. Now what's important is that we make the inside dimension the same. So, and we got to make it because we got to cut a lot of steel based on that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make another mate, a measured mate, where I select that surface right there, rotate this around, and I'm going to select that surface there. Whoops, stuck them right together. No, don't worry about that. We're going to say measured mate. Right now they're 7.5 inches apart, and I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to make them 12 inches apart. Okay, so we'll accept that. I'm going to zoom out here, and yeah, I've got a little end table we're developing right here. It looks kind of cute. So that being said, let's go ahead and save this file. Accept that mate. Go ahead and save this file, rebuild it, and we'll save it. And we're going to call this end table. Alright, we're going to make a version of that, 001. Okay, let's make sure I saved it in the right place. I'm real bad about not doing that, so I'll go ahead and open that up again. Yes, I did save it in the correct place. That's good. Okay, let's go ahead and place another leg of our table out here. Go get our bed table leg, and we'll stick that boy out here. And this time, we're going to go ahead and do another mate. We're going to go ahead and say this plane of that leg is coincident. Make sure you got the coincident right. Sometimes it'll automatically kind of think ahead and know what you're doing. Except we got to rotate that. Boom, we'll rotate that around. That's good. And just like before, we're going to come up to this top surface here, and we're going to make sure that this is at the same height as that top surface. Oops, moved it up. That's good. Now we're going to say this surface here, rotate that around using our middle mouse button or our arrow keys. Oops, see, we don't want that. We're going to say measure distance again. It's going to be 12 inches. Alright, there's 12 inches. Accept that. Go ahead and accept that mate. And let's do a Control B and a Control to rebuild our document, and do a Control B as opposed to going up here each time with a little stoplight. Or we can now do a Control 7, and that brings it up into isometric. Well, the problem with isometric is you can't really see the part behind it, so we'll go ahead and do a quick diametric rotation. Now, if you don't have your custom display and all that set up here in your assembly, what you can do is come over here to this pull down, and you can find these views that you want to use, and or you can use the control keys to go to which view you're looking at. That works real well. Okay, let's go ahead now, put another chair, another bed rail leg in. Put that out there like that. And using our center mouse button, we're going to rotate this around. Okay, well, we want this here surface to mate to that surface, which it did, but again, we got to go to the other side, so we're going to flip that around. Okay, that looks good. Oh, no, it doesn't look good. What's wrong here? Well, if we go up here to the top view, yeah, they're kind of the same, but we have to make sure that they're parallel to each other. So now what I'm going to do is accept that mate. I'm going to take this surface here, and I'm going to mate it to that surface right there, and then I'm going to set a measured distance of 12 inches. Okay, so what do we got here? Well, looks like we got a mess. Yeah, we sure did. Let me just flip that dimension around. Well, looks like I messed it up. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Here's what I'm going to do. Get out of this, come down here to my mates, open it up, go find that distance and say, that ain't going to work. So I'm just going to delete that guy. There's probably a couple ways I could have done it better, but I'm going to go ahead and delete that guy. So, let's go to the top view doing Control 6. You can kind of see what's going on here. Yeah, I see it. So what I'm going to do is go to this mate, that looks good. Go to this mate, that looks good. Okay, we can fix this. So let's take care of the simple things first. Let's go ahead, click out of that. I'm going to go up here and grab this surface here and mate it to the height of that surface, right? And get to it there. Alright. Hit OK and accept that. Okay, that looks good. Now, if you notice, this leg's turned the wrong direction. That's no big problem. So what we'll do is we'll change this mate. Well, we don't know what the mate is. So what I can do is I can select on that part and I can view mates. That's kind of cool. So I can click on one of these. Well, that looks good because it's going to the other surface over there. That one's got the top view and that's got a distance. Let's see what these are doing. I think that's the one I could possibly edit. So I'll right mouse click on that and go up to there and edit that mate. Well, now I can come over here to my mates and I can pick which one I want to delete, and that's the one I want to delete. Now what I'm going to do is rotate this around and I say I want to mate to that surface, and let's do Control 7 and see what we got. Alright, I think that's a lot better. I'm going to hit accept on that, and go ahead and get out of this. Our other part should show up. There she is. Let's go to Diametric. And okay, now we can see the layout of our assembly so far. So, this is looking pretty good. Now all we gotta do is come back in, as our sketch indicated, and put the steel pieces in here. So let's get on that.